Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. My name is, of course, the Battle Room, and today I am joined by my good friend Raghav. How you doing, buddy?
Colin, I could be doing a little bit better. After coming back from Indianapolis Regionals, I feel like my body was cursed. Probably from all the Frostless in Top Cut. I have a little bit of a cold now, but we're gonna have Michael Zhang showing off his Frostless in top four versus the GOAT himself, Wolf Glick.
Today we're actually going to be breaking down both top four matches in one video, so if you wanted to see the action of the semifinals, we got you covered. But like you mentioned, we'll be watching Michael versus Wolf here. Michael dispatching Evan Scott, and then Wolf beating Alex Underhill to meet here in the semifinals.
Yeah, this is a really hype matchup. Michael's a close friend with a really crazy team, and somehow Wolf on the other side with an even crazier team, I'd argue. And so this was a matchup that I am really, really hyped for.
It's kind of like when you out crazy Michael Zhang, it's an accomplishment. But I think Wolf has truly done it. So let's check out their teams. So first we have Michael's team here with Frostlass, Tyranitar in those first two slots, Corviknight, Garchomp, Hisuian Arcanine, and then Hydreigon. There's just small little things on almost all of the Pokemon here that just make it kind of crazy. Like Frostlass, we got Weather Ball, Corviknight not running a setup move, just running Protect Tailwind, which is kind of wild. Garchomp pretty boring. T-Tar's pretty standard. But yeah, and then that Hisuian Arcanine and Hydreigon as well. Kind of a crazy pick from Michael, but that's what he's known for.
Yeah, I mean, he was building this team and we kind of got to see the process. And I just want to say, you still don't get it, okay? Like, you kind of just have to let him do his thing and it works. And this is proof, dude. He's in top four with these crazy moves, Weather Ball, Frostlass. But I really think that the Arcanine is maybe the star of this team. Head Smash, Flare Blitz with Rockhead is just so cool. Not taking recoil is so important because Head Smash is a nuke, dude. It does a lot of damage. And I think it might be the key to this matchup, along with probably the Frostlass, right? Because I feel like Wolf's Steelix and even his T-Tar can be a little bit scary, but he does have the tools here.
Yeah, and also what's really nice too is like dealing with the Hisuian Arcanine can be really annoying because of that Focus Sash. Wolf does have to hit it twice, and it's gonna be getting off a potential like two head smashes. Wolf's team is not that fast. A lot of the Pokemon are very slow, very bulky. He would have to rely on something like Sneasel or Talonflame. So Arcanine may be getting two hits off, which could completely shift the momentum in his favor. Otherwise, yeah, I kind of it's gonna be kind of interesting to see. I think that the Steelix is going to be potentially a problem because he does, like most teams, have mostly physical attackers, so he is gonna have to try to navigate around that.
Absolutely. It's going to be a little roulette I think, because, Corviknight could be cool too, but then Wolf has the Rotom. Hydreigon can beat the Steelix, but it's pretty useless against, like, the T-Tar. So I think let's just take a closer look at Wolf's team, honestly, to see what tools does Michael really have to navigate.
So Wolf's team, as we've mentioned before, is Steelix, Tyranitar, Rotom Wash, Sinestcha, Sneasler, and Talonflame. Just again, an absolutely insane team built around Mega Steelix and Mega Tyranitar here. Important things to note, I would say, are the bulky like Will-O-Wisp Light Screen Rotom to help neutralize threats to both Steelix and Tyranitar, Sinestcha to heal everybody up. I feel like these two are very, very crucial in a lot of Wolf's game plans. And then obviously the Tyranitar and Steelix to do the heavy lifting and the damage.
Yeah, I think this team is weird to look at, but it's constructed so perfectly. Like everything is very synergistic. And I think in this matchup specifically, things like Wide Guard on Steelix could be really cool for that Frostlass. Although I just remembered Michael has the Weather Ball to get around that. So
Hmm.
maybe it's not as useful. I think though this Dragon Dance T-Tar is very scary. Sneasler is going to be good because Michael has, I think, three Pokemon that are weak to it. So it's really like, can I position myself to threaten this Frostlass while also beating the T-Tar?
Yeah, and I think too, Michael's T-Tar could be very interesting as well. It does have access to low kick, and it actually kind of does pretty decently in the mirror against Wolf's T-Tar because it can one-shot it back. So we kind of have to see. I think it's going to be, like you said, a dance around the Sneasler and trying to make sure that Sneasler remains useful while facing down something like Frostlass, because I imagine that Michael is going to lean on that pretty heavily.
Absolutely. You put it perfectly. I think without further ado, we got to see how they do it.
So we are going to see Wolfe lead off with Sneasler and Rotom into Michael's Frostlass and Arcanine. Kind of what we were saying, right? It's like the Sneasler is very valuable. It's super important, I think, at dealing with this Hisuian Arcanine. But then at the same time, Frostlass is just kind of doing whatever it wants right now. It gets to just spam Blizzards, hit some Weather Balls, and just kind of go on the offensive.
Yeah, I think if I'm Michael, I'm not too mad. Obviously, I am threatened by this Rotom and Sneasler, but I feel like you have a pretty free just like Blizzard or Weather Ball in the Sneasler and protect.
Yeah, there's like very like little damage that can actually come onto the Frostlass right now. Like what, you can take a Hydro Pump and a Dire Claw. Like that's the worst case, or I guess a Light Screen's a little worse, but still, I think especially depending on the speeds here, because I do know, I did play ESM, I do know he is timid Frostlass. So depending on how the interaction goes, you could also even see just a protect Blizzard, and then you can just fire off a Rockhead into Rotom without ever getting risk losing your Sash. But Michael says, nah, I'm attacking. I want that damage with Arcanine. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that was a risk. It does do over half with that Blizzard, so in range for another turn, another Blizzard. But we do see Rotom go for the Light Screen. I think this is a bit awkward. Maybe Michael was scared of the protect on Sneasler, because if he gets that turn, right, just protects and, like,
Yeah.
let's say Weather Balls the Sneasler, he's in a phenomenal position. But now it's a little bit awkward, because the Light Screen's up, Sinistcha could come in,
Yep.
and then he gets CC'd, or Rotom just, like, stays in. I am not sure. This is kind of a tricky position. Wolfe is always, you know, threatening that Sinistcha switch in. If you're Michael, what are you doing?
I think that you just throw the Weather Ball into Sneasler and just hope that you're faster. But, I mean, that play would have been stopped by Tyranitar. Maybe you're supposed to Shadow Ball the Sneasler, but that's not going to kill with Cinny. I think he might just have to call this one. But let's see what he does.
Okay, so Sneasler actually protects, and he goes for the raw Blizzard. Does he hit the T-Tar? He hits the T-Tar. Oh my god, if he's head smashing, dude, does it just die?
And I think he is, right?
Oh my god, what a turn from Michael. T-Tar's in the red, dude. Wolfe has got to be feeling terrible now.
That was a really good play from Michael. He just said, hey, you're not switching in Cinny. I don't care about that. I'm just trying to get this damage onto Rotom and hopefully hit a Blizzard if you switch this in. Like, if Wolfe would have attacked and dodged Blizzard, it obviously would have been really, really nice. But at the same time, if he did just hit the Blizzard in the sand, it's just over, right? So I do think that, like, it looks bad, but Wolfe is still kind of in it. It's just like, how do you navigate around this?
I think you just Shadow Ball the Sneasler slot and head smash T-Tar, and there's like, you can't really be punished, right?
Yeah.
Because head smash did so much. Even if you Mega, I think it's just dying.
The big thing too is like Wolf's team doesn't have Intimidate. It does have that Wisp Rotom, but this Arcanine is like the perfect. This is like the perfect Pokemon here. He goes for E-Speed.
No, not the E-Speed. Oh my god, and the Weather Ball. Dude, there's a Light Screen up, and with the Sinistcha, that actually did 0%. Wolfe making the perfect call here. Dragon Dance. Oh my god, it outspeeds everything now.
Yeah, now it just gets to go crazy. Michael was in the driver's seat, but now he's fucked, right? Like,
yeah, I think that was a huge throw. Like, I feel like there was nothing wrong with Shadow Ball head smash.
Because yeah, now like you said, it outspeeds everything, and there's no snow, so now it's just a +1 Rock Slide that Michael only has one resist for, and that's Garchomp.
Yeah, you just Rock Slide and switch your Cinny out. Like, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. You get more healing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, you're not threatened at all. You can bring in Fake Out to potentially set up another Dragon Dance if you needed it, like against this Scarf Hydreigon. But yeah, this is just such a good position for Wolfe now. Yep, like you said, he's switching it out. It's so
I'm
free.
thinking Michael might not even have Garchomp if that Hydreigon's coming in.
I don't think he does, because Garchomp is the only switch here. And here comes the Rock Slide.
And then you just Fake Out Rock Slide again, right?
Yeah, there's no punish. There's no punish whatsoever.
God, that did so much. Yeah, I'm not seeing... I feel like it was just one turn Michael got wrong and the whole game is over.
Yeah, and I felt like he played those early turns pretty well. Like those first two turns, like obviously he took the Fake Out, which was a little bit annoying, but at the same time, I think against a player like Wolfe, you want to keep him honest and you don't want to fall for, like, you know, like if he just did like protect or double or swap out or do something, right? Like you want to just attack, keep the pressure on. And then turn two was great from Michael, but now it's just like he's just sliding to victory, dude.
All right, and he doesn't actually click fake out. He didn't want to lose the Sneasler. He gets again with the E speed. Earth power not going to be doing enough, especially with
Negative,
that
dude.
light screen.
Mm-hmm.
Rock Slide's free here. If he connects, now it's just going to be Frostlass and whatever Michael has left. Oof. I think Wolf got this one pretty easily after that Dragon Dance turn.
Yeah, it was a really good turn from Wolf, and if Michael had just kept his foot on the gas, went for the rocks, was it head
The head
smash?
smash.
Yeah, he was chilling. But now the screen's gone. Like, there's just I don't even know. It would have to be like Corviknight, and then you just have to like set up a Tailwind. That's like your only shot here, maybe.
Nah, but then the sneeze the Rotom Wash is going to be too annoying.
You're
I think, in the
right.
end game.
You're right. Rotom is still really healthy. Yeah, there's like nothing. Your Tyranitar is not what you want to see though. Taking away the snow boost for Frostlass. Now I mean, I didn't think Frostlass was living the rock slide anyways, but now there is no shot.
I mean, you could like Rock Slide crit the opposing T-Tar, right? Like protect
Yeah.
Frostlass, get it right. Uh, I think that's his only win condition here, and then maybe Frostlass can beat the other guys. I mean, there's still Rotom, like that's gonna be hard.
I don't think they're yeah. Even if you do like crit the T-Tar, so at this point, Cindy's also just mad annoying as well, just spamming Matcha Gotcha here.
You can
And
flinch it, dude. It's fine.
you're right, you're right. But Wolf covers for that. He's like, dude, I'm not getting the crit here. You're not flinching me. Nothing's well, he can't flinch him, but not getting the crit, and I'm just gonna protect my T-Tar and get your Frostlass next turn. Oh, he's double protecting. He's taking no risks.
Yeah, I don't know if that Cine needed to protect, but regardless, Wolf just playing it safe, and he actually gets the call out. Like now, Michael has to get a double protect, crit onto T-Tar, and then maybe there's a chance. But he just forfeits.
That's fair. I would have played for the miss, but it is what it is. It was really, really doomed. I mean, Wolf, honestly, Michael, I feel like this matchup is just like Michael trying to keep as much pressure as humanly possible so that Wolf doesn't set up those Dragon Dances, right? Like, Wolf made a crazy switch, switching in his sweeper in. Michael punished it, but then he kind of flubbed the landing there a little bit to keep T-Tar down, and T-Tar ended up just hard carrying.
Yeah, and Wolf honestly making kind of a crazy play, but knowing that this is his opportunity to get back into the game, hedging that Sneasler, being like, I know you want to E-speed it, I know you want to. He did it twice, dude.
He
Like,
did, he
they keep
did.
falling for it. Um, I mean, game one, Wolf's favor, but Drip War, probably also Wolf's favor. Love Michael, but I think Wolf's just got it on here.
No, I think Wolf came with a fire fit, dude. He's showing off a little chain down there. He's looking good. He's looking fire, dude. The hair's looking good. Michael, he's got his classic all white fit on. Respect.
Respect to the always fit. It's
What
the
do
Eternal Snowman. What else can you expect? He's got to keep
Exactly.
it frosty, dude. Imagine if Michael showed up just like blinged out, like hella chains, like iced out, dude.
That would be fire, dude. Especially like with a snowman chain, dude. I mean, he is
Oh my
playing the
god.
snowman right now, dude. He is the eternal snowman, the aroma lady. But let's see if he can take down Wolf in game two here. Sneasler and Tyranitar this time. Okay, fair enough. Into Arcanine and Garchomp. Wow, that's a great lead for Michael.
Yeah, Michael recognizing, okay, Garchomp might be good in this matchup. I think that is probably the correct route.
I like this Arcanine still. I think he just needs to get the value out of it. He got one Rockhead last time. Like, I think if Arcanine gets to move twice, Michael might just be chilling. But this turn is really tricky, right? Because you could totally attack with Arcanine, but Sneasler could also just fake out Garchomp and DD. That's pretty safe, you know?
Yeah, I'm feeling like Dragon Dance here is a little bit inevitable.
Yeah. So Michael is going to attack with Arcanine. He kind of has to, like I mentioned. Like, the fake out DD is way too real. He's going to get a big juicy head smash off, though. Oh my god.
Just so much, dude. It's
It's so
actually fire.
strong. It's so strong. But Wolf is going to go for that DD. Again, he is not mega-ing because he wants to save the weather control for the Frostlass in the later game here.
Yeah, and now, like, this Garchomp might be in knockoff range after a fake out with the Mega, but at the same time, you could just probably, like, CC it for extra damage, Sinistcha can come in. So Wolf just getting that Dragon Dance is so valuable. I think it is a little bit tricky, though, because Michael still has his Focus Sash. Garchomp is just naturally good here. So we see Protect on T-Tar. You
The f-
think the CC is coming out to one of these guys.
Whoa, Michael just attack. Is he going to go for like a self EQ here? Is he crazy with it?
Dude, I think he might have been, honestly. I think he is saying that as long as I get one of them, I win. And does the head smash go first? Is the Arcanine
It
faster
does.
than his
It does. He's jolly. He's jolly Arcanine. He's a max speed jolly. So the head
dude?
smash
So
is
he
gonna
was
come through.
absolutely expecting to take a rock slide, and he was like, "I just want to cover the Sinistcha."
Okay, and he goes for
I
Dragon
didn't go for
Claw.
the EQ. Never
Just gets a
mind.
little damage though. I think it's still a good turn. I think it's still a good turn though because now Wolf has to go for Rock Slide CC. Michael can press Earthquake if he wants to. If he leaves Arcanine alone, Michael does get to attack. Like I feel like, is it not just safe to press Head Smash Earthquake here? What's wrong with that?
No, I think E-Speed's better because
Oh,
Arcanine
okay.
is guaranteed to be slower than both of these Pokemon.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
E-Speed, he might E-Speed the Sinistcha again, but I think you just EQ, and it might be enough to take out this T-Tar.
Oh, there's no Mega. There's no Mega.
And he E-Speeds the T-Tar. It's definitely going down here to EQ.
Knock
Oh, we
off.
see the knockoff on T-Tar. Oh my god, if it
Ooh.
Mega, it just killed
Oh
Chomp.
my
Holy shit.
god, dude. This Pokemon is so strong. We were
Dude, I
sleeping on
feel like
Mega
none of us
T-Tar.
were considering how strong this guy is.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. In the tournament, when I played against the Mega T-Tar, and I didn't expect him to do like 80% with knockoff into my Palafin. I was like, dude, what is going on? I totally forgot that this guy hits like a truck.
No, that was absolutely insane. That was a regular T-Tar doing
Yeah.
that much to Chomp. Like, Mega would have just clean
And the thing is like,
clapped it.
Chomp is not known for shitty defense, dude. He's bulky. That's the best part about Chomp in this format. And T-Tar's making him look like a fool.
I mean, Chomp did survive the turn. We basically trade almost two of your Pokemon to get rid of Wolf's Mega that didn't Mega. But the Corviknight comes in. That's actually
Uh-oh.
really nice.
That's really bad though. Because what that tells me is that he didn't bring Frostlass. I feel like Frostlass just auto won the game, right? Like, am I crazy?
I think you might be right, actually. I think Frostlass would have, which is
I mean, I think Corviknight is really nice here, don't get me wrong. But also, I'm a little afraid for Michael because that means there's probably no Frostlass. And like, this game is just over if Frostlass is the last Pokemon. Like, Wolf just can't get through it fast enough. But now, I think Wolf might have a slim chance of trying to sneak through here. Especially if he can get some burns or something with Machagacha. We're going to see CC come through on a Garchomp, pick him off. So now it's going to be a 2v3.
yeah, and I think we're just gonna see a very obvious Brave Bird go in here. I think it's gonna be Sneasler because if you're saying there's no Frostlass, because he would have switched it in, it's probably T-Tar, Hydreigon, and Sneasler is threat there. So you have to get rid of the Sneasler. I think Corv is looking good as long as it's not Rotom. Maybe even if it is, the Mega T-Tar could go the distance for Michael. And City just sets up Trick Room here.
Oof, that is kind of annoying. I mean, also, it could be the secret last. If Wolf had Steelix last, it would also win. That's the craziest part. Oh my god, it's him. He actually has it
He
in the
brought
bag.
it. I don't think he just wins though, right? Like it's kind of a 50-50 here.
I guess you're right because Corviknight. Well, I don't know who wins Corviknight versus Steelix. They both can't touch each other. Like they both have to just Iron Head, and neither of them have healing. So, I, I don't know.
No, but the thing is, I think Sand ends this turn, dude. And I think Michael's supposed to
Oh,
Mega right now.
gotcha. Yeah.
But then, can Wolf just... Does he has Protect on Sinister, right? Like, he should just
He
protect
does.
the Cine and then High Horsepower, the T-Tar. And so he could do the
Gotcha.
double up next turn if he needs to.
Oh my god, what a crazy ending. They both are
Yeah,
whipping
this
out
is
megas that
really
you don't
close.
expect. But at the same time, I think if Michael did have Frostless, he was chilling.
So we do see the Protect here. Does Wolf protect Sinister? No, he doesn't. Okay, if Bravebird comes out into the Cine and picks up the KO, I think Michael should win.
Tyranitar does have the stats of a god. He can just take the hit
Yeah.
here.
And Masha's about to do nothing, right? So Bravebird
Literally
is
negative.
free into the Cine. And he should... Oh my god, the burn.
The
I forgot about
burn.
the burn chance.
The burn.
Dude, Wolf gets it on the first try, dude.
Well, it was the only try because this thing was definitely killing, right? Oh yeah, that was
Yep,
so
that was
bad.
dying. Oh my god. And I think that's bad. I think that...
That might be
I
bad.
think, I think that means he loses.
No, because like especially now, like you said, he does just get the high horsepower plus the Machagacha kill on the Tyranitar. I would think. I mean maybe Tyranitar can go the distance, but I don't know. 3 turns of Trick Room is also really scary, and the Burn Corviknight is no longer winning that 1v1 for sure.
Is it 3 turns?
Yeah, it's actually really nice. It's on the top, dude. You see it right next to Pokemon
Oh, yeah,
Regional
yeah,
Champion.
yeah.
Yeah. Spectator
you're so
mode.
right.
Let's see how much this does. Okay.
Still does too much, I think. With the no sand, dude, Matcha's not gonna. It's gonna kill. I mean, he had to hope for a dodge.
Oh.
Damn, that sucks, dude. For Michael, I think he had a real chance there without that burn.
Yeah, I think because if you kill Cine, then you get one low kick off, and then you probably just win the Ironhead War, right? Like I think you get there.
But realistically, like, shouldn't have Wolf just protected Sinistra on the turn Sand's ending? Because high horsepower probably kills with Sand.
Yeah, I think so, but then I don't
I think there's
know.
nothing wrong with that.
I think it barely lives with Sand, but I think he probably should have protected, but I don't know. I mean, in that moment, he was like, "Gotcha, dog."
Gotcha, dog. Yeah. Dude, yeah, I mean, well played from Wolf.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, Michael kind of made the correct adjustment, especially being like, you're not bringing Rotom again. But Wolf played to his outs exactly what he needed to do, and he takes the dub 2-0 in style, dude, with Steelix.
Now let's take another look at the other top 4 set to see who is going to face Wolf in the finals. For this next set, it's only going to be me on the commentary today. Unfortunately, Raghav had prior obligations, so I'll just be breaking it down myself. So going into this one, we've got Arsal versus Nails, 2 friends, and also Arsal here is playing with his season life on the line, if you will. Arsal is only able to go to 1 tournament this year, and this is it. So he needs to win the entire thing. Obviously, getting top 4 is an incredible feat, and I'm sure he's not going to be that mad about not being able to go to Worlds, but I do think he really, really wants to win this one. He wants to get that Worlds invite. He wants to win a regional. Who wouldn't? And in his way, he's staring down Nick Navarre, who is a very, very accomplished player, one of the best in the game, and usually a very creative team builder. So let's break down their teams. So first things first, we have Nick's team. Nick's team is actually really, really cool. It's a team consisting of Floette, Incineroar, King Gambit, Palafin, Sneasler, and Talonflame. He only has 1 Mega Pokemon here, which is Floette. This is very much a Protect the Queen Floette comp. There was a team that was running around Showdown that was very, very similar to this, but with Dragonite over Talonflame, and it was a very, very solid, cool looking team, but I think Talonflame really elevates the team to another level. I think Calm Mind Floette is very, very good, very disgusting, hard to deal with, and it's going to be up to Nick to pilot this thing really, really well. But I think what Talonflame does exceptionally well is enable Floette even further, while also giving you a very, very good switch in and speed control into specifically Charizard. So I think Talonflame is going to play a huge role in this matchup, but otherwise he's got kind of the normal Pokemon that you'd expect. We see Incineroar, Sneasler to help set up the Floette, but importantly, there is no follow me user here. Normally on a type of team like this, you see something like Sinestro, Mousehold, yeah, usually those two. Those are the two. But yeah, there is no follow me. So Nick is just relying completely on setting up with fake outs and then trying to take control of the battle with either Tailwind or Palafin. King Gambit is also another option to set up here, but I kind of don't expect it going into this matchup just because there is a Venusaur, there's a Charizard, Garchomp. It seems difficult to navigate King Gambit in this matchup. He still might have to bring it, but yeah. Actually, I don't know if he will bring it. I don't think he's going to bring it. And Palafin is another interesting Pokemon. I use Palafin myself. I think Palafin is very, very strong. And this bulk up leftover set is perfection. I think it's the best way to run Palafin in this current format. Mystic Water is a thing of the past. But I think in this specific matchup, he doesn't have a way to shut off the weather. So I find it a little bit unlikely that we'll see Palafin, but maybe. You never know. He still can come to Sun. He can still punch Charizard right in its stupid face. So we'll have to see. But I imagine Nick is going to have to try to enable his Floette and his Talonflame to carry this game against Arsal. Now on the other side here, we do have Arsal with a team consisting of Charizard, Floette, Garchomp, Incineroar, Sinistcha, and Venusaur. This is a very, very popular team, but usually with Aegislash over Venusaur. Now I think Venusaur does add a whole new element to this team and makes it a completely different beast to handle. Having to deal with Sleep Powder, having to deal with a more potent Sun mode is really, really scary. And I think Venusaur does play a potential here in this matchup, right? Specifically into enemy Floettes. Could be huge. But I do think Talonflame is there for a reason, and I think Talonflame could be obnoxious for Venusaur, so it is going to be up to Arsal to defuse the Talonflame, make it a little less potent so that he can either Sleep Powder it, or Sleep Powder or Sludge Bomb the thing next to it, so basically relying on something like Intimidate or Garchomp to try and navigate through that. I think the Sun mode is very potent, but I could totally see Arsal also changing it up and trying to potentially just match Calm Mind Floettes. Having access to Cine, Incin, like you could just lead the same things. I do think you have to worry about Sneasler. Having that Sneasler could be a slight advantage for Nick, but at the same time, I think We could see a Calm Mind fight here, especially depending on their speeds. Specifically, the Floettes might just start smacking each other around. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. I think Palafin would rise up in terms of value if there is no Charizard. So it is up to Nick to call whether or not Charizard is there. But I could totally see Arsal just saying, hey, I'm slamming Charizard, Garchomp, and Venusaur, and I'm just going to deal as much damage in the sun as humanly possible. So we'll have to see. I also could totally just see a mix-up, like I mentioned earlier. I think switching up your megas in a set is obviously very valuable, and I could totally see him just, one of the games just trying out the other mode, especially if he's up a game. Why not? Try to throw Nick off his game, try to maybe, like specifically a Pokemon like Sneasler doesn't look great into the Sun mode, but looks really, really strong into the Floette mode. So there may be something of that nature to try and navigate around specifically Sneasler, or try to abuse the fact that he does really, really want to pick Sneasler, but I also think Sneasler will probably just be brought every game. So we're going to hop into these games and see how these two players do it. Again, Arsal is playing for his season on the line, and Nick, obviously, an incredible player, wants to win the entire thing. I mean, they both want to win. So let's see who does indeed take that victory. So we're going to see a Charizard and Venusaur lead from Arsal here into a Sneasler Floette lead from Nick. So in this situation, you're feeling real good if you're Arsal, right? Like, you have two options. Well, you've really, I really think, like, that he can only fake out one of your Pokemon. And I think that you can just throw both attacks in the Floette. Weather Ball plus Sludge Bomb feels very, very strong. You could also throw a Sleep Powder into Floette as well if you want to play those games. But I think Sludge Bomb would 2-hit KO even with the Calm Mind boost. And I also think even if you Weather Ball and then Sludge Bomb, even if they get the boost and move before Charizard, like you fake out Venusaur, they Calm Mind, you Weather Ball, I think you're still living, or you're still fainting to another Sludge Bomb. So I think this situation is really, really good for Arsal, and I just am curious to see how Nick is going to get around this one. I don't know what he can really do. You could you could protect, you could put some damage. Like, it's something you could totally do, but I just don't think it's gonna. I mean, it just seems like a hard read, especially if Arsal does just press Heat Wave even instead of a potential Weather Ball. But let's see what happens. We're gonna see both these Mega Evolutions. Oh, also, he's either really, really fast Zard or really, really bulky Floette. Actually, no, Floette gains speed. Never mind. Floette's probably still gonna move first. I'm being silly. That's my bad. That's my bad. So we're gonna see a fake out into Venusaur. I think that's the one you have to fake out. And then I think we're gonna see that Calm Mind, right? We are, okay. I was just totally wrong. I forgot that Floette has a slower speed upon Mega Evolution, which is totally fine. He's gonna get that Calm Mind off. And now, is he gonna take a Heat Wave or a Weather Ball? We're gonna see a Heat Wave. And it misses? Ooh, that's huge. Okay, let's see how much this does. Goodness. Okay, so this is fine. I don't know if Weather Ball was going to change the calc, but maybe it would. But now I think you have to Sleep Powder. I think you just go for Heat Wave, Sleep Powder again. You could Sludge Bomb, but I think that the Dazzling Gleam Dire Claw is going to be annoying. Or Draining Kiss even to get some HP back to really mess up your potential KO. Because like if you Sludge Bomb, they Draining Kiss, they might have enough HP to live the turn. Oh, I'm totally blocking an HP stat. That's on me, guys. Sorry. Okay. We're in position. We're in position. So let's see what happens. We're going to see Sleep Power into Sneasler, actually. I think that's fine. I mean, you really can just Sleep Powder either one. And I think it's more likely that Floette would protect. We're going to see another Calm Mind. Demon work from Nick here. He read him there. He's reading him, dude. Heat Wave's going to come through. Honestly, still a good chunk to Floette. But now Floette maybe could be in a position. Again, Sleep is very interesting in these high-level games because in the past, Sleep would last longer, more consistent. But the odds of Sneasler waking up have increased, and also the next turn it's a guaranteed wake up. So I'm not sure what you're supposed to do. I think Nick does have to protect his Floette here. I don't think you want to get hit by the Sleep Powder. He could also roll the dice and try to dodge the Sleep Powder, but I don't think it's worth it. I think you're just supposed to protect Floette and then try to get your first turn wake, try to get some damage off with Sneasler into probably Venusaur to break that. Well, not break that Sash. You could also swap the Talonflame, but I think that Arsal should continuously press Heat Wave so that they keep the Talonflame from getting in with Gale Wings. So I think as long as Arsal is pressing Heat Wave, he's feeling pretty good because Talonflame's going to try to come in here, right? No, it's actually me, Instant. Okay, I respect that. That's solid. And we're going to see Sleep Powder into Instant. Arsal calls the switch Protect, but Nails calls the Sleep Powder and just goes for a Draining Kiss into Zard here. It does a good chunk, not a lot, but it's enough to give it some HP back to make it a little bit healthier. And yeah, that was a really, really good turn from Arsal though to call the switch, but also a really solid turn from Nails or from Nick to try and stay relevant in this game, because right now Arsal is just continuously pressing Heat Wave, right? Like everything's going to sleep and he's just Heat Waving. And so it's just like these damage trays are just favoring him so much because Floette, like there's a fake out, or what is that even? Yeah, it's a fake out and a Draining Kiss. He's done 2 attacks and he's taken, what is that, 4 Heat Waves on his Mons? That's pretty good. You know, I kind of want to be the Charizard player in this situation. I just don't know what Nick's supposed to do. Like, because maybe he's supposed to lead Talonflame, but leading Talonflame sucks because Arsal has such a free switch to his own Incineroar to try and navigate around that. We're going to see Sneasler come back in here. Floette is actually going to go for Protect. So I think Nick is trying to set up the Talonflame here, right? He's going to say, hey, I'm going to Protect Floette. You're going to press Heat Wave one more time. You're going to KO my Sneasler. And then I'm going to be able to bring in Talonflame for free. Yep. See, that's why I would have liked Nick to probably just not switch into Incin and instead just let Sneasler go down. But I think Nick was a little bit worried that he wouldn't actually Heat Wave and might double up to try and, you know, let the Sneasler sleep for another turn. So Talonflame is going to come in here. He's ready to go. And now I think this is finally the time where Nick has a little bit of agency in the match. He's been on the back foot the entire time, but Floette is at +2 special defense, +2 special attack, and Talonflame's here to chill, dude. He can kill Venusaur at this point, especially if it's marked, if it's damaged a little bit. I think Talonflame can pick up this KO with dual Wing Beak, especially. Charizard's going to withdraw to Incin. Okay, it's Incin, right? Yeah. So Arsal is saying, I'm going to try to live Dual Wing Beat here. But if Dual Wing Beat does get the KO, I would feel so good about Nick's position. But Venusaur, that is a bulky Pokemon. It takes it very, very comfortably. That is a Dual Wing Beat from a Sharp Beak Talonflame. Sleep Powder is going to come through. He's 3 for 3 on the powders, dude. He is 3 for 3. Floette is sleeping, but honestly, not the end of the world because Floette burns a sleep turn. Sunlight's gone. I think you're able to potentially just... I think that you can press Dual Wing Beat plus probably Gleam? I'm not really sure what the optimal move is. Oh, I think it's Dual Wing Beat Draining Kiss into Venusaur. I think that's what you're supposed to do. It's a little tricky, right? Because, here, I'm going to pause this one. If you press Dual Wing Beat plus Draining Kiss, I think that Floette should always live the turn. But the fear would be as if they actually just protect Venusaur and then they Flare Blitz your Floette, or they switch into Charizard. That would also be really annoying. So it is a little bit tricky in terms of your targeting. But if you think that Incin's going to fake out, your best play is to double the Venusaur. But if he's not faking out, it could get a little dicey. So we'll have to see. I think that I actually would really like Arsal to just press Flare Blitz into Floette. That feels like a really, really good turn. Like, if Floette doesn't wake up and you press Flare Blitz, switch to Zard, I think you just win the game 1, right? Because Floette is the only thing stopping you from winning right now. Arsal has a full HP Pokemon in the back. All he needs to do is KO Floette. So we are, yeah, there it is. It took me a little bit to get there, but we're going to see it. We're going to see the switch to Charizard. So this turn, I would fear Dual Wing Beat Draining Kiss into Incin. That would be the scariest thing. But again, he does need to wake up to even have a shot here. Let's see it. I wanted to wake up to see if he can call this right. Nah, he doesn't wake up. So that is just game, right? There's the Flare Blitz. Nice. That was a well-played turn from Arsal, recognizing the win there. And he takes it, right? Because Incin has not burned a sleep turn. Talonflame is relatively low. Yeah, you forfeit. There's not much you can do. That was super well played from Arsal. He honestly just kept pressure on the entire time. And I think Charizard Venusaur, it's obviously such a boring combination and everyone knows about it, but at the same time no one is really currently using it right now. It's not very popular in the tournament. So like I could totally see, like myself, I kind of said if I play that might be a loss, and that's okay. I just don't expect to play it. And Arsal said he took that personally, and he said you're gonna have to play it if you want to win the regional. So Nick just seems like he has kind of a rough matchup here, but he also just didn't get that Talonflame into a good position. And at really any point in the game, Arsal always had that Incin in the back. And I think the Incineroar is also like, it kind of carried the game. It literally switched in and Flare Blitzed, but that's all it needed to do. But one thing we got to talk about here is Raghav may not be here, but there is a drip war to be had. So we have Arsal in his hoodie, Nick in his pajama pants and Play Pokemon shirt. I think, unfortunately, this one's blown out of the water. Arsal in a pretty basic hoodie. It looks clean. It is solid. It's solid color, which allows it to go on the stream. So I got to say, Arsal, you win the drip war. But yeah, I think going into this game too, I think Nick needs to try to find a way to defuse Venusaur. I'm not sure how you can be more active into the Venusaur. That is the problem here, right? Like, Talonflame is a great Pokemon, but we saw how much damage it did that I think Venusaur might even just live a dual wing beat, even if it's not intimidated. If it's full HP, it might just live. So, dude, I don't know. I think Arsal should stay strong, play the Sun matchup, right? Just say, hey, I need to hit some powders. That's just the nature of this matchup because Nick has nothing to respect said powders. So I think if I'm Arsal, I'm running that lead directly back. I could also see the argument for maybe leading something like Incineroar, but I liked Charizard Venusaur quite a bit. So let's see what Nails is going to do to react to this. Incineroar, I think that's also kind of a fair, cool lead into Talonflame Sneasler. Oh my gosh. This is incredible. Incin is looking so juicy here. He gets the Intimidate off to both because, again, Nick is Focus Sash Sneasler. So Incin's like, hey, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling broken, and I'm ready to just start killing shit, right? Like, I just get to start pressing Flare Blitz in the sun. I mean, granted, he's probably going to press Fake Out here. But also, this is a really good lead as well for Arsal because he's putting a ton of pressure onto the Talonflame early because I imagine that Venusaur is still in the back. I do think that Floette, if Nick is able to remove these two fire types, Floette could maybe get through like Garchomp Venusaur in the late game, right? Like depending on the board state and the circumstances, if he's got Tailwind, if he's got some speed control, or if he has a Fake Out live, I think maybe he could do it. But I don't know. This looks kind of tricky because I imagine that Nick does have instant Floette in the back. I think it's really safe to say. I think Palafin is too clunky without a second weather, and I think that King Gambit is just not coming here. Okay. Instant's coming in. That's fair. We are just going to see this Mega Evolution. I feel like this is a pretty... It's kind of a tricky turn, right? Because Arsal could Fake Out. The Talonflame feels like the natural one you're supposed to Fake Out. But if... Sneaser's just protecting there. Okay, sure. We're going to see that Heat Wave. Okay, so he's just double attacking. He says, I think you have to Fake Out one of my guys, and I'm okay if I take a CC. So we're going to see a nice little Heat Wave come off, and we're going to see, and that was a crit. Okay, that was insane. And we're going to see a parting shot into the Talonflame. Oh my god, that was clutch. That was solid. That was some good gameplay there. Instant switching out. What is he bringing in here? What a good parting shot. I feel like Arsal's parting shots have just been fire. Garchomp's coming in here. Oh my god. Unintimidated Garchomp. What an incredible turn from Arsal there. Because Nick played it so safe, right? Like, he totally expected some really aggro stuff, right? Like, he expected, like, I don't know, like, Fake Out Heat Wave into Sneasler. He also just felt like Instant was such a safe switch in, but Arsal punishes it perfectly with a parting shot into the Talonflame slot. Yeah, wow. And Garchomp's here. Garchomp was probably here in the first game. We just didn't get to see it because he just destroyed him so cleanly. So what is he going to do? I mean, like, it's kind of interesting, right? Because obviously you see these two Pokemon, you say, dude, press fucking Earthquake. Like, why wouldn't you Earthquake, right? But at the same time, Talonflame can switch in, and it did switch in. But I also think he's going to Fake Out. Oh my gosh. If he just Rock Slides, the game just ends. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. It misses Instant, but that's okay. It hits Talonflame. Oh my god. Yeah, it's such a good play because the Earthquake is so obvious. And if you do get this play, if you do kill Talonflame, I think the game just ends. He's just destroying Nick. This isn't even close, dude. Now Floette is in. This is the turn that you know, like, the Rock Slide does have its cost because it is a Choice Scarf Garchomp. You do pay for a KO, but now you have to pay for a switch out. But I think that's okay because at this point in the game, Nick has two Fake Outers in a Dream. If you do have that Venusaur last, you're feeling really good. You do have to manage your Harsh Sunlight a little bit. There are 3 turns of Sun, but I think at this point Charizard is so healthy, you do just get to spam Heat Wave for probably 2 more turns, and then you have to switch him out. You do have to switch out Garchomp, though. As I mentioned earlier, this is the price that you pay for getting that Rock Slide KO and a Talonflame, but I think it is a worthy, good price to pay. Especially because Incin is just such a free switch. Or he's just going to stay in and fish for some flinches. I guess that's fair as well, honestly, right? Like, you are just getting free damage onto Floette. You do have that potential Venusaur in the back. And if you do just play the game as fast as you can, maybe Venusaur can win just by itself. So here we go. We see the Rock Slide come through. Honestly, good damage into Floette as well. Instin's going to eat that berry. Calm Mind's going to come through. I guess I do see the value of Rock Slide here because he does kind of have to Calm Mind to sweep you, right? Like, if he Gleams or Kiss, you're like, okay, dude, it means you didn't set up. We're going to see this Weather Ball come through onto Floette. It's going to do a good amount, but that thing is living a Rock Slide. And then we're going to see that Parting Shot come through onto Charizard, which I think is fair because you expected that Garchomp to switch. But now you do have Fake Out Live. You do have access to Draining Kiss. I think you're just supposed to Draining Kiss the Garchomp slot, right? You Fake Out Charizard, Draining Kiss Garchomp. You can't really Fake Out Garchomp because losing... Like, there is something to be said to leave the Garchomp in if you want to break that sash. Could be really, really valuable. But then you're probably giving this Floette so much HP. So... I don't know. I think you just go for a swap onto probably Incin. You could also probably swap into Venusaur as well. Venusaur's looking really, really juicy. Just to give as little Draining Kiss HP as possible. Because that's your only fear at this point, is if this thing turns into a Drain Tank and they just start going nuts on you, right? Like, that's the only thing you're afraid of, is if they start getting so much HP back. But he is in such a good spot. I think he just needs to not make a game-ending error. And also Charizard is pretty weak right now, which I don't love for Arsal if he wants to close this one out. Okay, we're going to see a swap. I could also see a double swap, to be fair. I think that might be okay. Yeah, we're going to see double swap, yeah. Because, like, Charizard is most likely getting faked out, but also he's also most likely just dealing no damage, even if he does. So let's see it here. We're going to see that fake out. Nail's playing predictably, but he is such on the back foot that I think he has to, right? Like, he does make the really safe play, but I think he's just in such an awkward spot, again, that he has to. So we're going to see the Draining Kiss. It does heal a little bit here. But yeah, now you have Sun one turn, but Charizard's in the back, which is good. So as long as you don't switch in Charizard here, you're feeling pretty strong. What do you do here if you're Arsal? You have Fake Out. I would imagine, like, I think it's just a Fake Out Sleep Powder. I think you're allowed to just Fake Out the Floette and Sleep Powder the Sneasler. And the reason I say that is Floette can't really switch, whereas Sneasler could switch into Incin. So I think you just go for Fake Out Sleep Powder. Also, you're not going to die to Dire Claw. So I think this just covers for almost anything that could happen. Like, I just don't see any downsides. Because at this point in the game, too, you want to be really careful because you don't want to give a free Draining Kiss target, like, onto that Incin. Because Incin or Garchomp, if they get hit by Draining Kiss, it could be a game ender. So we're going to see that Sleep Powder right into Sneasler. Good night, Sneasler. And then we're going to see a Sleep Turn burned, and then we're going to see what from Incineroar? We're going to see a Flare Blitz in the Floette. Oh, okay, sure. He's just saying, I want to end the game right now. Which is fair. Floette is at half. He is saying, I can live a Draining Kiss, which he totally can. So now what do you do, though? This turn is the interesting one, because you could go for Sleep Powder onto Floette. You could switch to Charizard, go for Sleep Powder. Or you could switch to Charizard, a Flare Blitz, if you think that Sneaser's not going to wake up, but that seems relatively risky. You could also just maybe, like, Parting Shot and Sleep Powder the Floette, but that could also lose to Gleam plus Dire Claw. It's like really awkward for both players here. So he's just going to stay in with both. Draining Kiss is going to connect onto Incineroar. He was banking on that no first turn wake. He really was, because he could have CC'd. He could have Dire Clawed. It could have been really, really bad. Instant actually takes that really, really well. We're going to see the Sludge Bomb come through. Floette eats. Is there poison? No poison. And then we're going to see a Flare Blitz. So he just slammed the double attacks, which I also think is fair. No burn, no burn. Okay, it lives the turn. I think that is fair, because slamming the double attacks means that Garchomp can probably just clean this game up by himself. But I do think you have to be a little bit careful about Garchomp being the end game when there is a Fake Out and, like, a Draining Kiss. But it ended up working out. No first turn wake, so he's chilling. First turn wake could have been really, really bad if Incin went down, just because then you're just getting a Draining Kiss. Well, I don't know if they went for CC. Maybe went for Dire Claw and a Venusaur. But Venusaur would have lived that anyway, so you would have needed to get lucky with a Dire Claw Para or Sleep. But now I think it's just a really easy turn. I think you just switch out Incin and just Sludge Bomb. Like, set up the Sun, Sludge Bomb the Floette, you're feeling pretty good. I don't think there's any downsides to that. You could Earth Power it too, technically, but okay, let's see it. Technically, it's like slightly more optimal, right? But there's no way he's switching out Floette. Charizard comes in. Sunlight turns harsh. Floette is going to protect, try and save itself. But I think at this point, its time has come. I think it's time for Sludge Bomb to kill this little flower. Sneasler is going to... Oh, okay. Wait. This could be the thing. Para. Ooh. If he got a Para or a Sleep there, I think the game actually could... I don't think it swings into Nick's favor at all, because, like, how are you supposed to get around... like, just damaging, right? Like, at this point, Charizard just beats Floette. As long as he doesn't switch in Garchomp on a Draining Kiss, like, Floette is going to lose to Charizard. So, I think that the Dire Claw was a good attempt. It's all you can really do at this point, but here comes the Weather Ball Sludge Bomb, right? Like, I guess technically you should EP here. EP Earth Power, or Earth Power's EP Weather Ball, right? Just hit him with it. Just double the Floette. It protected. I think that Nick might need to go for a double protect and then just try to KO Venusaur. But even then you get hit with a fake out. So I don't know what you can do. He's going for the double protect. He does not get it. And then we're going to see that Earth Power come through. Oh, he's playing optimally. Hell yeah. He did it. He EP'd. All right. Earth Power gets the KO. And then he is just going to smack a Dire Claw into Venusaur. I think that was his best plan. Like, there wasn't much he could do at this point in the game to try and save it. But... he did. He actually goes for Heat Wave, which is kind of crazy, but also at the same time, it's not too crazy because Earth Power will always kill Floette, so you might as well. Ooh, and the burn to clutch it up. And that's going to be the game, right? Like, Instant cannot beat those 4 Pokemon. Like, Arsal just dominated this matchup. He played it exactly how he needed to. Floette was never brought, and he just used Charizard and Venusaur to clutch this one out, honestly. And they went kind of crazy with it. Nick just didn't have an answer to comfortably deal with Charizard Venusaur. So congrats to Arsal for taking the dub here and moving on to the finals. Now, obviously the finals is going to be Arsal versus Wolfe. You might have already known that, but we do have a video breaking down the finals if you want to check that one out. If you want to see some high-level competitive analysis, we got you. But what a great set from both Nick and Arsal. I think Nick's team was really cool. We didn't get to see it really shine here, but it was a very cool and strong team in the tournament. But unfortunately, Arsal's Mega Charizard Venusaur team was just the perfect call. I feel like if you hit those sleep powders, right, it's just very hard to deal with. And I think a lot of players have also just come to the conclusion that, hey, sleep powder is a cringe move, and they're just not going to put me to sleep, and I'm just going to dodge, or I'm going to wake up on time. And I think that was Nick's entire matchup. And I think in the current era of the nerfed sleep, I think that's an acceptable way to play the game. But unfortunately for Nick, those things didn't happen. He didn't get any first turn wakes, and all the sleep powders connected. So there's not much he could do in that matchup, and Arsal just completely destroyed him. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed my solo cast. We'll see you next time.